The word fantasy is defined as mental images or dreams by the imagination in response to an ungratified need. All of us engage in some form of fantasy each and every day, even if it is just as simple as daydreaming. Since fantasy is a mental response to an ungratified need, might fandom be a physical response to gratify that need? Could fandom be the social result of people trying to find a culturally acceptable way to express their innermost fantasies? And wouldn't relationships and sexuality naturally then be a part of that? That said, there are two sides to any coin. There are many Japanese anime and manga that are ripe with unhealthy sexual imagery and ideas. Gone are the days when Japanese men could purchase used schoolgirls' underwear from vending machines. But the cultural marketplace that fed into those desires and ideas still exists. Now, filter that across the Pacific Ocean through the lens of American culture, and what remains? It's hard to say. However, I think the positives of Cool Japan and otaku fandom far outweigh the negatives. I've spoken with so many people who find a sense of community, a sense of belonging, and a sense of positive motivation by being part of the otaku community. Here are some of their stories.
Being a fan of anime, you kind of feel like you're the outsider, just in a world where everyone's like into uber sports or other things. But here you could like shout a character's name out and you're not going to be ridiculed for it.
There is no age limit. Like some parents will say, oh, it's cartoons. Why are you watching cartoons? It's not just cartoons. It's a whole different culture that we're learning about. We get some of the animations that we watch have no English dubs. We have to listen to the Japanese and look at the English subtitles, which gets us learning some of the Japanese language.
I guess one of the things that I find so amazing about it is just how rich this community is. I think that it's really difficult when I try to explain this to my friends and they say, well, what is anime and what is manga and what are these conferences? And I said, well, you know, you've just asked me about 300 questions in those 3 questions because it really is such a rich environment. And that's the thing that continues to amaze me is, you know, like my sons are here and they're dressed as characters from a popular series that you can find on Cartoon Network. But there's the cosplay, and there's the more obscure manga, and then there's the Lolita style, and whatever you want to do that expresses who you are and what you're interested in, and maybe that part of you that people don't quite get, somebody gets it here. And if it doesn't exist, you create it, and that's all good too, you know? So there's just something for every individual, and everyone here is an individual, which you don't get to find a lot of other places.
I mean, it just helps you know you're not alone out there, that there are literally almost thousands of other people who are into the same material that you are. So it's a good feeling.
For these people who feel like they don't belong anywhere else, this is where they do belong. I think there's more acceptance in otaku fandom than anywhere else.
Here in America, we're so accustomed to functioning within institutions, and there's a certain bandwidth that we consider to be what is, you know, normal or what's acceptable or what is right or what we want to do or be. And around the fringes, I think, is where all of the innovation lives, where all of the things that push us to be more and to widen that center occurs. And I think that a lot of the folks that come here are a part of that, you know, that fringe, if you will. But the fringe eventually moves to the center and forces the center to move out to the fringe, and it widens and enriches all of us as a culture, as a society, as individuals because of it. And so for us, it's really important that we create the conduit where the fringe can come into the middle to help enrich the middle, as well as to help support the folks who are out there feeling all alone on the fringe, but they're not. And this is a place that reminds you that you're not alone out there, that we are unique and we're individual, but we're not alone. We're all connected.
So I am with a family, and this is
Eileen or Lynn.
Okay, and you are
Shay, but Yuna.
Okay, and you are
Rachel, but Payne.
All right.
Mark, Goku.
Okay, cool. So
Goku.
what shows are you all from? You're from
What am I? What?
Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball.
Okay, that's what I thought. And
Final Fantasy.
Okay. You're from?
Final Fantasy.
Okay.
Final Fantasy.
Cool. And I see you all came here together as a family. Was that was decided as a group? You just really wanted to come? What was the idea behind that?
Last year we were in the city and saw that they had this happening, and the girls have been planning to come for a year. And as parents, we didn't want to have the girls come by themselves, so we decided to make it a family. So the girls really put a lot of detail into their costumes.
Your costumes are amazing.
So we decided we would also partake and we would play the part as well.
Cool.
So it's a really good family occasion.
It's not just young people, it's not just old people, it's multi-generational. It's Mama Squirtle carrying baby Pikachu. I've seen that.
The thing about anime, about manga, about this community really is, I think that a lot of the kids and the grown-ups too gravitate towards it because it provides a place for people who haven't necessarily felt like they've had a place. And it gives an outlet for them, and like I said, and an inlet for them too, because here's something that in Japanese culture is huge. It's massive, it's validating, and it allows folks to, like I said, to come into themselves and come into the society in a more powerful way. And it gives a place for a home for folks who wouldn't necessarily feel like they had a home. It's like family here. It really is. Even though you don't know these folks, you know these folks. And I think that really, can we have too much of that? I don't think so. And so it really provides a place and a home for what I think is really important to nurture in our society, which is the individual, the unique, and to not label it, but to help own it.
Welcome to Crystal City, Virginia, just outside of DC. Crystal City is home to government contractors, office high-rises, an expansive underground shopping district, and Anime USA. Anime USA started in 1999 as a Northern Virginia convention by fans, and in 2004 became a non-profit educational organization. Their self-described mission is to educate the public about and promote Japanese arts and popular culture. Anime USA is very similar to Otakon in some respects, but it's a much smaller convention by comparison. And that's why many people love it. Attendees return year after year for the more intimate atmosphere that this convention provides. At Anime USA, I had the opportunity to speak with Tuan Pham, Director of Public Relations for Anime Boston, a large convention held each spring. I asked him about what it's like to put together a convention.
Planning convention is a perverse kind of hobby because, one, we all enjoy putting on a large-scale event, but we also enjoy just, bringing people in and talking to people. So that was one of my major things. Was like, hey, this is a real thing. It's really a party for 17,000 people. Just think about it. You have 17,000 people coming together about one common passion, which is Japanese pop culture, be it the anime side, be the manga side, be the J-pop side. It's just an intermix of all these very rabid fans just wanting to talk about what they want to do, what's their exact passion. And yes, clubs, they might have clubs at home, and maybe 5-10 people, maybe they go to the library, watch it with other people, but they don't really get to have a community experience. And that's where our staff derives their passion from, because they are putting on, one, a huge party for a huge amount of geeks, but two, they remember as they were growing up, oh, I like this too, or I couldn't still like this, but I didn't have the experience of talking with other people. So humans are social beings, and we want to provide a social aspect to what their passions really are. So that's why we do it.
It's time. Iris's turn before the Hall Costume Contest judges is just moments away. She'll be competing with Kieran, her most challenging costume to date. All of Iris's hard work has come down to this.
I'm not so nervous about going in front of judges, I'm more nervous about there being someone who is obviously more qualified. But the thing is that the thing I have to remember is that each person is set in a different category. So you win by category, I think, and then overall or something like that. So it's not so much like, because it's like, yeah, there'll be someone who has like a huge ball gown, like highly detailed and like beaded, but I have to remember like, well, they're probably in masters, and I'm like, I only got one. I've only gotten one, which means it's like, I'm still at the bottom. Like the last time I did this was for Katsucon last year, and they said because they gave out the awards, the masquerade, and before they gave out the awards, they were like, oh, just so you know, we were biased for anything that they wanted more frillies and more girly like things, and I did a really masculine kind of looking thing, because it was a uniform, like really masculine uniform, so I had to fix this. But because of that, I felt like it really hurt me a lot.
Let me take a look at this.
There's like this huge table and there's like 4 or 5 judges. And I don't recognize any of them. Usually it's people who have won a lot of awards, or I think they're guests or something like that. I have no idea. But these people, I've had them before, like they'll come up to your costume and they'll touch it and like examine it and stuff like that. So it's very in your face. So it's kind of like it's like a little bit nerve-wracking, but I mean, they ask you questions like, you know, how long did it take, or what's your favorite part, or things like that. And they're always like, they're never like mean, they're always really, you know, they're not like critical of you or anything like that. They say it behind your back before they say in front of your face kind of people. So it's like, you get in there and you're nervous anyway. They know you're nervous, because everyone is always nervous. I'm just more nervous about someone in my category having more experience than me. Oh boy. I'm kind of scared now.
Please don't break the elevator. Please don't break.
I'm not worried about that breaking, I'm worried about this breaking. Elevators can be fixed.
I'm really rooting for her, and she's probably going at 1,000,000 miles a minute right now with anticipation. She did her Sarah's costume for Katsucon in February, and well, we really got shafted by the judges for that, because they admitted that they were really into frills, and anything that wasn't frilly or girly or anything really EGL was not going to get a good vote anyway. So I know that really was pretty tough on her, but I think she's going 1,000,000 miles a minute right now. She has noticeably gotten much better as time goes on. I think the first time I actually noticed her doing a really quite amazing cosplay was when she did Sora from Kingdom Hearts. That was when I really saw her really graduate to professional level, in my opinion. And it's only gotten better and better as time's gone on. She's very dedicated to whatever she builds. It's actually rather impressive and inspiring. This latest one, the Kieran from Monster Hunter, it just blows anything I've seen of that type out of the water. So I hope she stays and maybe starts looking at doing this professionally.
You know, there are a lot of impressive cosplayers here. I mean, a lot of it's bought, a lot of it's made. But you know, it's not necessarily just because you have an impressive costume doesn't mean you entered the contest, honestly. I mean, it's really the people who are looking to do this for work or for, even for notoriety. I'm not sure which one of those Iris does. I think it's a little of both for her, because, you know, it's a skill set that can be applied to other things. And so if she wins, that's great for her.
Right now, considering she's in there, I'm gonna go with nervous as hell. She worked really, really hard, and I think if she doesn't win something, she's gonna be really sad. And I think she deserves to win something for this one.
The neck piece. This is individual pieces of vinyl that I sewed. For the contest, what you have to do is you have to, pick a costume, and then you basically start a binder. And in the binder, you have reference materials, and then you write down, what you bought, like what kind of fabric it is. You have swatches of your material. Some people keep logs of how much they spend, things like that, and then you take photos of your progress. So at the end of every day, you'll take pictures of what you did do, and then you'll keep it in the binder so that the judges see your process, and then you hope that you win something. It's pretty intense. Like last time I was there, I was like so nervous, and all my friends were with me, but I was still like, oh, they're gonna hate it. They're gonna hate it. I mean, I didn't win, but I mean, it's really nervous because you have to go in front of this panel of people, and they're all judging you. You're basically in an environment where you think that no one's gonna judge you, and they do judge you because they need to for the purpose of the contest. But it's pretty intense. And then when you get to the masquerade, at the end of the masquerade, which is Saturday, you sit and you wait till the end, and you wait and you wait and you wait, and you're nervous the whole time because then they go, okay, first prize is, judges award is, and you're like hoping, oh please, let me win something, because I actually have my award somewhere, I think in my room, But if you win something, then it's like you get a trophy, and you're like, I did win something, because it's like it's proof that you're not like, you know, you're not a novice, you're not a newbie, you're actually professional.
I just kind of can't get over it. Like, look at the picture. Like, she's got the same build as her, too, and everything. I'm just like, dang.
Yeah, I always tell my friends, pick characters who actually fit your body type. And it's very well.
No, do you guys have any other questions?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, great. Oh, aces.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, what level do you compete at? I'm sorry.
Novice. Like, I've only gotten one judges.
Okay.
No, that's fine. I just want to make sure we put you in the right category.
Because that's what I'll do. Thank you.
You don't want to
Thank
think
you.
this.
One of the invited guests at Otakon 2010 was Takamasa Sakurai. He was tasked by the Prime Minister of Japan to oversee the Kawaii ambassadors. The Kawaii ambassadors serve as cultural diplomats for Japan, spreading awareness of cool Japan to countries around the world. I spoke with him about Japanese popular culture diplomacy and why it is so important to the Japanese government.
今回オタコンにも、僕の友人もいましたけど、日本の政府関係者の方も見に来てましたけど、みんなすごく
Some affiliates from the Japanese government came to America to observe, and they were very deeply touched by how into Japanese culture these people were. I've been to 17 countries, 29 cities, all around the world as a cultural diplomat. A very significant experience I had was in Italy. I asked a bunch of students, hey, do you all like anime? And they actually got angry at me and said, what kind of question is that, do we like anime? Of course we like anime. We grew up on anime. There are so many different languages, different cultures, different values all around the world. So if you can find joy in something common, you can build bridges. And if anime can be a bridge between different cultures, that's something that should not be ignored.
True otaku, whether they realize it or not, are building bridges between the Japanese and American peoples, simply by appreciating another culture for its creativity, diversity, and uniqueness. If otaku fandom can achieve that on even a small scale, then otaku as a subculture are revolutionary in the way they impact the world around them. They've gone beyond just buying anime and wearing costumes. They have accomplished through imagination what knowledge could not. True acceptance of something different from oneself. That's fundamentally revolutionary in the history of the United States, and something that should not be ignored. Thank you for watching. Sayonara.
The masquerade, and they just gave out the awards for the costume hall contest, and it's sad, but I won this. I won Best of AUSA 2010 Hall Cosplay Best of Friday, which is amazing because apparently in the novice division everyone's novice, so I was picked the best for the whole Friday. I'm excited. I'm like, this is the best thing that I've ever won, and it tops off a really great weekend. So I'm really excited. this is like amazing to me because it shows me that what I'm doing, all the effort I put into it, it adds up to something that I can display and that other people can see. So it's not a wasted hobby to me. Now it's like a higher thing.
I actually had to push Iris out of her seat so she would go up and get it, which was really, really funny and very uplifting. It was a thoroughly enjoyable experience for everyone involved, and I'm glad she got it.
I was losing my voice before I got here. I got some Dayquil. I was losing my voice before I got here, and the only way I can do interviews, like I've done over 20 interviews right now, over 8 hours of filming, and the only way I can keep going is if I drink Dayquil every 4 hours. So tastes awful. It's probably the most disgusting thing I've ever had. But here's to Otakon. Oh, what you got?
Go ahead, teacher. Slancha and Ostrovia.
Oh my God.
Looks like you didn't finish. Don't you need to lift that out of there?
God, stop.
We were warned, but we didn't listen. And now look, 30,000 otaku running free in downtown Baltimore. We didn't listen! We didn't listen!
We didn't listen.
I saw a man dressed up as Lady Gaga, so that was kind of unique right there.
Go for it, you know.
Yeah. If you gotta flaunt it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't got any of it right now, but you know.
Well, I've seen a lot of dudes in like Speedos.
Yeah, there are a lot of those. Yeah.